A very warm welcome to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, especially Dr. Chaya, Laurie, who's flown from Melbourne, Mr. Balasubramaniam, our colleagues from Kuala Lumpur, Tokyo, India, and all of you from Singapore. I think the concept of academic center, I must tell you that every big idea starts with a small bang or a small trigger. We all know why we are in GIS, and we all know what we are planning to achieve through the medium of GIS schools. We are building, as our tagline says, we are building global citizens. But a lot of things go into building global citizens. Whether you provide Indian education or Asian education or IB or Cambridge, end of the day, you will find across all of our GIS schools, there are citizens who are not just Indians, there are other international citizens. And they are all coming to GIS with a basic presumption that we will be able to get international education. Yes, in some schools we will be getting Indian curriculum education, but at the same time, we want our children really to become global citizens. Whether it is Tokyo, Rajeshwari can tell you how many Japanese students they have, whether it is Malaysia, almost 40%, now going to be more than 40% students are going to be Malaysians. There is an increasing acceptance of Indian education overseas. There is an increasing pressure on schools to deliver more than what they are promising. Like every corporate or NGO, or be it a public institution or a private institution, it is ultimately people who have expectations. They set the expectation from us, and we've got to identify what those expectations are and how to deliver them. We also need to understand that through GIS, apart from building global citizens, we are making a difference to the lives. We are building quality schools. We are not building Tom, Dick, and Harry schools. We are building, like Mr. Bala would say, quality schools which are fewer in number, but which address the larger aspect of educational objectives, particularly for the affordable class. We are not here to set up elite schools or the most pricey schools in the country, but at the same time, we want to offer, without compromising on our quality, education that will be comparable with the best in the world. So when we were, over the last 2 years, having several discussions with the board members, with our various principals, I think we all were evolving as independent silos, independent schools. There was little or less connectivity between the schools, except for when the heads of the schools are meeting. And more importantly, there is a lack of sharing between the school resources, between the teachers and colleagues. Now, it may be a very generalistic statement, but it is not by design. It has happened that way. As you know, we've been made to sit in a Formula One car without knowing how to drive it. So now we better know how to drive it, otherwise we're going to crash out somewhere. So fundamentally, we need to build our systems where we can drive those systems, we can measure those systems. At the same time, we are able to do it consistently. Why does Shoemaker have a reputation? Because he's winning a Singapore Grand Prix or a Malaysian Grand Prix and then crashing out in the others. While the driver of the race can himself be consistent, the back-end logistics technology, everybody in that team, behind every driver there may be about 40, 50 people. Everybody in that team has got to make a perfect landing for the driver to win the race. And by what I mean by perfect landing or a perfect contribution is that there cannot be an error in anybody's contribution.